The Dallas Stars continue to find ways to win. Never a doubt as they take down the Penguins 3-2 in a shootout. Matt Duchene and Nils Lundqvist are back, and Jamie Benn looks to be in top 6 form.
Your Locked On Stars, your daily podcast on the Dallas Stars. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Howdy, Stars fans. I'm Joey Erickson, former producer of 105 Through the Fan. Please be sure to subscribe. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. And as always, thank you so much for making us a part of your day and making us your first listen. Welcome to a Monday edition of Locked On Stars, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, now the #1 sports podcast network. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code Locked On NHL for $20 off your first purchase. The Dallas Stars just continue to find a way to win hockey games. How they won this one, I will never know, but they take down the Pens 3-2 in a shootout. Jake Oettinger was perfect in the skills competition. Mikko Rantanen seals the deal. The Stars are now 25-5 with 45 points this season. That is the second most points through 30 games in franchise history, trailing only 46 in the 2015-2016 season. What a victory on home ice for the Stars. Matt Duchene and Nils Lundkvist are back. Want to talk about their returns. Finally, some positive news on that front. Plus, Jamie Benn looks to be in top 6 form, playing next to Jason Robertson and Roope Hintz. Can he continue to sustain that throughout the season? We'll touch on that as we wrap up today's show, as always. But let's discuss this 3-2 shootout victory over the Pens. Boy, they did not deserve to win this one, let alone get a full 2 points. But that is hockey. That is the beautiful game that we talk about here on an everyday basis. And it was just an infuriating watch for a large majority of the game last night. The Stars were so sloppy. They looked sleepy, lethargic, and their puck management was so loose. I'm curious to see the turnover numbers. They ended up being registered 23 giveaways. It was awful puck management from Dallas, especially in between the blue lines. It seemed like the middle of the rink was a real struggle bus for the Stars, who just could not put passes together. And it was one of those nights where you felt like everybody was fighting the puck outside of Hintz and Ben at points and stretches of the game. And Stars had some good shifts here and there, but they weren't able to really convert that into chances. And it was a game where everybody was fighting the puck, all different individuals. Miro didn't have a great night. Although he blasted home the tying goal late in regulation. But at the end of the day, the Stars claw their way back, and they find a way to get it to overtime, and they win it in a shootout. That's a test of a really good team that has this mentality right now. It does not matter who's out. It doesn't matter how many excuses they could make. They're just going to win hockey games. They're going to get 2 points. They're just going to continue to chug along. They're unfazed. And that is what is becoming their real identity. They can win in different styles, and they can win when they're not at their best. They can win, of course, when they're slapping it around and making crisp passes. That was not one of the nights in Dallas yesterday, but they did enough. They did enough, right? Jamie Benn looked excellent, ended up with 4 shots. He had the tying goal in the second period off a beautiful play by Robertson to find Hintz streaking down the left side. And then Ben was able to hammer it home. He missed his first opportunity earlier in the game. And that was the best line for Dallas. They had the more dangerous looks than any other trio. They ended up with 7 scoring chances because Rantanen had a tough night with Johnston. They struggled to put a couple passes together and get really any looks on Tristan Jarry, and the Stars just were really limited. And part of it is Pittsburgh. We have to give them a lot of credit. I don't think the Stars were great, but Pittsburgh also made it a game. It made it tough for Dallas to get to the net. It was played along the walls. Stars just could not move their feet, and we're just a tad slow. And Pittsburgh was all over them, and they couldn't really extend the lead. That's or what they failed to do in the game. They just allowed Dallas to kind of hang around, and then they're able to pull the extra attacker to get the tying goal late in regulation. But Ben was awesome. 10 scoring chances when he was on the ice to 3 against. That's really good stuff from the captain. Excellent stuff. Robertson and Hintz were a great compliment to him, and they were the only trio that seemed to get some consistency in the offensive zone. The Stars only generated 22 scoring chances at 5-on-5, which actually outchanced the Penguins. I would not have guessed that, but the expected goals for 2.9 for Pittsburgh. It was 2.37 for Dallas in the game. I'm actually a bit surprised the chances were as close as they were. The first period was just all around ugly, I thought, for both teams. Second period, Stars came out well, and then Pittsburgh seemed to turn the pressure up, lean on Dallas. And then in the third, it was a struggle bus at points. The Stars only had 3 shots in the second period. They ended up having 9 in the third. A large chunk of it was late. And credit to Dallas, they didn't score on the power play. Their power play was not very good, which is a bit, I guess, uncharacteristic of their power play at home. It's the best in the league. But their power play was sort of a microcosm of the game at large, just not connecting with each other. They had a couple of good looks. The best was Rantanen from the right circle that Jarry was able to spit aside. But again, the big boys kind of help you out in this one. Your leadership group, Jamie Benn with the goal in the second, and then it's Miro Heiskanen blasting it home at 6-on-5 with the extra attacker. What a shot that was. He leaned into it. He now has six on the year and a 3-game goal streak, which is the largest of his career, which I thought was a bit mind-boggling. Although he hasn't put up big goal numbers in his career, it seems like this season he's probably going to set a career high. I think 13 is his career high, which was back in his rookie season. Seemed to shoot a lot of pucks home, but he's getting big opportunities right now. He was out against Crosby and company a ton with him and Lindell. The Penguins had their looks, just I guess could not put the Stars away, and that's a credit to Oettinger for holding them in. Although Dallas didn't play well, it's not like Pittsburgh was on top of them and it was a complete onslaught on Jake, which I think is a good sign too. They were outshot 29-23, but it never felt like the Stars were just swimming in their own zone for large chunks. They were still able to move the puck. They were able to get it out to the neutral zone. After that, it was a bit helter-skelter and could not tell what you were going to get after that. But it was strong work from a lot of different guys. I think Kolyachonok had an excellent game. Thought he was superb for Dallas. Thought he was strong. Even Capobianco, they had to play quite a bit. Kolyachonok played 15 minutes, and I thought gave Dallas really good shifts, some good moments too when they needed a spark here and there. It was just another full team win, right? They get a little bit of everything, right? Goaltending, the big boys come up, and then in the skills competition, Otter was superb. I mean, that's a tough couple trio that Pittsburgh can kind of trot out there with Rust, Crosby, and Letang. and Otter spin them all aside. The one on Crosby was an excellent roll blocker save. And then Mikko comes right down the slot and buries it. And that was it. Stars get it done. How? Who knows? But who cares? It's 2 points in the bank. Stars continue to find ways to pick up some big wins. Couple of big games coming up too in the Central Division. So nice to get a couple more points in the bank. You have Winnipeg and Minnesota upcoming, both on the road. So that was a nice win to close out the week. And you get a couple bodies back, which was big too. Nice to see Matt Duchene back, who they're easing in, and Nils Lundqvist. Let's talk about them and their returns to the lineup for the first time in a while. We'll do that in just a moment. Today's episode of Locked On Stars is brought to you by Game Time. The World Cup is coming back to America, North America, that is, for the first time since 1994. And with 48 teams for the first time ever, it's going to be massive. But let's be honest, getting tickets is usually the hardest part. That's why the Game Time app is clutch, finally giving fans a real advantage when it comes to snagging seats. With Game Time, you can track price drops in real time, get alerts with great seats, open and buy tickets the moment they hit the app. It puts the power back in your hands. It makes going to the World Cup realistic instead of impossible. Pick a game, tap a section, have your tickets locked in within minutes. No confusion, no hunting for fine print. You can see the view from your seat before you purchase those tickets, and you don't get any of those surprise fees. So take the guesswork out of buying World Cup tickets and every match, concert, or event with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply again. Download the app, make an account, use the code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go with Game Time. Thank you for making Locked On Stars your first listen of the day, and thank you for making Locked On the #1 sports podcast network. You already live your team every day. Now take it up to the next level and go ad-free. Join the Everydayer Club today and get Locked On Stars with no interruptions, members-only Discord access, and more, all for just $5 a month or $50 a year. Go to lockedonstars.supercast.com or check the link in the show notes to learn more. Matt Duchene back in the lineup once again, and it was confirmed after in the post-game scrum, Duchene was dealing with a concussion, which I think we sort of all looked into and read into over the last couple of weeks. That had to be the case with some of the mystery behind his absence and mystery around maybe some of his symptoms. But he was quoted saying that was the hardest injury he's ever had to come back from. And concussions are really weird things. Everyone knows how complex the brain is, and he found that out firsthand. It was great to see him back. And they mentioned they wanted to sort of ease him back into the action. He ended up playing 15 minutes on the night. So he was kind of inserted into the line. He was playing with Blackwell and Foxa on that fourth line, but they moved him up with Rantanen and Johnston at points, probably because the Stars just needed some offense. So he got to play with Rantanen and Johnston. They really struggled. The Stars were just all discombobulated. So I'm not going to take a ton out of just this one game sample size. The last couple of games, it's just been a bit of a struggle bus at points for the Stars to kind of get a rhythm and get to their game. But thought he made some good plays here and there. You could see, I think he was a bit cautious going into the corners, making sure he's not going to just get planted on the wall. He was certainly very aware of where he was and where others were around him, but he thought he grew into the game. Had a couple of the cutbacks that we're used to seeing with the puck on his stick, trying to create some looks. There was certainly some rust there, but the awesome thing is, seems like he's fully healthy, right? He's back, and that's good. Hopefully there is no lingering effects coming out of this game. That can always be the worry with the brain. Like you said, it's complex. Things can happen, and you just hope he got through the game tonight and feels perfectly fine and can continue to just kind of work and work. But, for the most part, sort of looked like Matt Duchene, and it was good to get him back. He was on the ice for a goal, created 5 scoring chances. If you look at the box score, curious if he had any shots or any other impact on the game. It was a night to forget, I think, for a lot of individuals, to be completely honest. No, it didn't register a shot in the game. Had a couple giveaways, had a takeaway though, a couple block shots. So, he was in there mucking it up and trying to make a difference. But nice to get a game under his legs, and hopefully he's good to go for the next one in a couple days in Winnipeg. Nils Lundqvist came back. Thought he sort of looked like Nils. I really did. Not much I can remember on his side of things, where I thought he was maybe rusty or whatnot. Played 16 minutes, 15 seconds. Thought he moved the puck well. Sort of just stepped right in and was good. He's moving the puck. He likes to jump up in the rush. Sort of what we've come to expect with Nils. Ended up with a shot. Ended up +1 on the night. So I think all in all, it was a strong game from the Stars blue line too. Again, Capo, Bianco, Chonak were excellent in the game. Nils, of course, really helps. And of course, the Stars puck management was bad at points. But I think the nice thing is, to some degree, ironically, was they were all sort of poor with some of their decisions. They have played a lot of games. I think it was 10 games in 18 days. Maybe some of that just weariness is starting to set in. So it felt like it was more of a team problem than it was just specific individuals. That's not necessarily a great thing night in and night out, but it was almost contagious how bad the Stars were with some of their decisions. But it's not like Pittsburgh was great either. I hate to sit here and hammer home a lot of the negatives. But the biggest positive is Lundqvist and Duchene get through the game and they're healthy. That was the biggest win. Good to just have some bodies back, right? Stars were able to make some moves to bring those guys back and activate them off the roster. Did want to update y'all on some of those decisions. So Lyubushkin is out with an injury. He's day-to-day. Bastian was a healthy scratch. Tyler Seguin and Liam Bischoff are placed on the LTIR. So the Stars had to make those moves so they could activate Lundkvist and Duchene. And now the Stars can use, I believe it's like $3.825 million is what they get in cap space for putting Seguin on the LTIR. They can't use the full $9 million or whatever his contract is unless they put him on the season-ending LTIR. There's a little difference in the fine print there. So they do get some cap space, but they don't get to use the full 9 or whatever it is unless they put him on the season-ending. So maybe that, I mean, if you read into it, maybe they think he can come back maybe at the end of the regular season. More than likely, probably like last year, where maybe if they get to the first round or second round, he can come back. But they had to make a couple of those moves. Sucks Lyubushkin's dealing with something. He just came back. So there goes another defenseman, but you replace him with Nils. It's nice to have Lyubushkin in the lineup just because he does give Dallas somewhat of what they're missing without Bischoff, and that's a physical presence. Not that they don't have that with some other guys, but Bischoff is, I mean, clearly their leading hitter, and brings that edge. I don't think the Stars have anybody else that sort of brings that or their same skill set. Besides maybe Lyubushkin, who I think can bring a little of that. But he is day-to-day now with a lower body injury. So, again, it's just sort of been the theme of the year. You lose one guy, Stars get one back, 2 go down. It's just a revolving door and a carousel of bodies coming in the lineup. I thought it was great too. And Victory Plus pointed out Stars have 8 different defensemen that have scored this year, which is the most in the NHL. And it just feels like they're all contributing too, which is great. It's not like they're just kind of, they're not just filling holes. They are being, in a weird way, productive members of society, if you will. Like, they're being productive members of the team and contributing defensively, offensively. They're chipping in. It's not just being a placeholder, which I think just says a lot about this coaching staff and what the Stars are doing right now to get the most out of your Capobiancos and company. They're getting the most out of all these guys and finding ways to win with them. That in itself is impressive. I said it last episode. Could not be more impressed with what the Stars have been able to do now through the first 30 games. Well, Jamie Benn continues to be a dog for Dallas. Can he continue to sustain this type of play and maybe not be that fourth line checker like he joked with Wayne Gretzky in the dressing room after a game in the postseason last spring? Can he continue it? We'll discuss that in just a moment. Today's episode of Locked On Stars is brought to you by FanDuel. NFL Sundays move fast. One big play and suddenly everything feels different. That's what makes live betting with FanDuel so exciting. You're not just watching the game, you're reaching it in real time. With FanDuel, you can place bets as the action unfolds, every drive, every momentum swing, every highlight moment. Live betting is best when the game starts to shift, a receiver can get hot, a defense tightens up, or the momentum flips after that turnover. FanDuel lets you jump in on the moment. They have live spreads and money lines that adjust instantly. Player props can update as guys heat up. You can bet next touchdown, scores, drive results, totals, and more. It just keeps you locked in on every snap, every drive, every possibility. So if you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL live bets all season long. FanDuel, the game moves fast, and so can you. So Jamie Benn scores again, has 4 on the year, assisted by Rope Hintz. And I believe we discussed some of this last Friday as we closed the week out here on Locked On Stars. Maybe it was just earlier in the week about what it has seemed to meant for the Stars to get their captain back and how taking the first couple of months off of the season is probably a blessing in disguise for Ben and the Stars. Dallas had to sort of get on without their captain, which has always been available, as healthy as can be for most of his career, even late into his 30s now. So they had to get on with it and ask for others to step up and be leaders. Seguin was a big part of that, right? And sort of learn how to win. I talked about it quite a bit coming into the season. The Stars always looked a bit weird. The few games that Ben had missed in his career the last couple of years, sometimes the Stars didn't look all that. They looked like they missed him. There was that sort of soul of the team missing. Well, they didn't have that excuse. Like, they had to start from day one without him, and they were able to get on their front foot and win a ton of games. So then when he came back, he could kind of just jump into the mix. He sort of was playing on that fourth line for quite a couple games, just to kind of ease him back in, like they're sort of doing with Duchene. But now he's playing with Hintz and Robertson lately. The first step, he was playing with Johnston and Rantanen because Seguin was filling that void. Seguin went down, and he put him with Hintz and Robertson. And maybe this is like the Pavelski factor. Why can't Ben be really productive with players like Hintz and Robertson around him at this age? I don't see why not. He's skating well, and he can play a Pavelski style, right? It's not like he's fleet-footed or the fastest guy in the world. He has more size, just needs to get to the front of the net. He still can keep up. He's engaged, through a huge hit on Dumba in the game, which was just one of the things I thought watching the game. I was like, thank God the Stars don't have Matt Dumba again. Wonderful human being on all accounts. But just watching him, just was thinking this is nice to be on the other side, of this. Through a massive hit, scores a big time goal. Now has 9 points in his 11 games, I believe now, since his return. And looks incredible next to Hintz and Robertson. As I stated earlier, that was the best line on the night. 7 scoring chances, just 3 against. They were the only ones that seemed to have some life in their game. And were just generating something. They created a couple of odd man rushes. I think Ben has been excellent for Dallas. He's bringing a presence is what you want from him, right? He brings that presence. Ended up grading out as a high star in the game. Hockey Stat Cards 2.09. It's a bunch of Penguins, as you would imagine. And then Ben is leading the way for Dallas. He did take a penalty in the game, which was ugly. I don't know why he did that. Although I thought it was a bit of a touch foul, and there was no reason they needed to maybe make the call, but they did as he took a little tug on Crosby there. But has been the captain since his return. He's fresh. And I think, in all honesty, I think Stars fans everywhere, including myself, hand up, thought this is just a fourth line guy that you're going to be asking to play in a top 6 role, who's not going to be able to produce or not going to be able to be successful in it. Well, shoving the words right back in my mouth, and I'm okay with it. It's looked great. He's been great, and I'm excited to see how he continues to work with a Hintz and Robertson. They obviously have a bit of chemistry and working well together, so that can continue to grow. And well, they need him too with Seguin down and some others. They need him to help chip in offensively. The Stars need as much help as they can. I don't think they can rely on Robo and Rantanen forever, although it looks like you can without doing both pacing to have over 100 points and probably 35 to 40 goals between a couple of them. But hey, why not Ben potting 20 this year? That would be impressive. But he's at 4. Let's maybe pump the brakes on 20. But if he can give you 15, that's what you need out of a Jamie Benn. I used to say that about Pavelski. I don't care if Pavelski gives me 35 goals or 60 points or whatever in the regular season. I need Pavelski to give you 5-6 goals, 15, 20 points come playoff time if you make a deep run, right? That's what you need out of some of the veterans, and he certainly has the experience. So yeah, he's looked good. A lot of positives for the Stars in a game that was not beautiful, but it's the beauty in the struggle, ugliness in the success. Stars, I think, showed that, and the shootout victory over the Pens. That's going to do it for today's episode. As always, thank you so much for love and support. Like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for making Locked On Stars a part of your day. Also, did Locked On Stars make your Spotify Wrapped? Prove it on social media to secure a free month of our brand new Everydayer Club. Just tag our national Locked On Podcast Network account on any social platform. We'll drop you a code. Be one of the first to join the Everydayer Club to get your favorite show ad-free and exclusive access to the member-only Discord channel. For those of you on video, we send you the first ever 24/7 national Locked On Podcast Network YouTube channel. On audio, make sure to make your second listen the NHL Game Night on Locked On NHL as well. That's going to do it for me. Have a great day, Stars fans. Catch you tomorrow.